Hey folks, Vinod here. Food photography on a mobile phone. Let's go. The three essential things you need to remember about any photography, let alone food, is composition, lighting, and angle with which you take your photos. So let's take a couple of examples of food photos, one in natural light, one with an external source, and see how we can improve those photos with different angles and different composition. So let's not get into styling today. Styling is a very vast subject. We'll just use simple tips on how we can take the food photos better. And the whole purpose of food photography is to make the food look delicious to the eyes, because we eat first with our eyes, right? So let's do that today. So as you can see, we've kept the dish on the table very close to the window, and the natural daylight is coming through sideways, and it's naturally diffused as well through because of the window. So there are a couple of ways you can compose this. One is you could place it on your left hand rule of thirds and allow the light coming in from the left side. That is, when light is coming through the window from the left side. Or you could switch sides. You can go to the other side of the table and bring in the light from the right side and compose. See what looks better in your final result. Personally, I think the first image looks much more pleasing to the eye. You can always bring in more elements or ingredients into the frame and see how they look. Place them in such a way that they are pointing towards the main subject. Another thing to do will be to go closer using the super macro mode and highlight certain parts of the dish which you think is essential or important. The second method is to use an LED light or an external source like this. You can also use a cheap diffuser to soften the light further. Diffusing the light makes the highlights and shadows much softer, so you get a pleasing look on the subject. Use lines to your advantage. Here the cloves of garlic act like lines leading towards the subject. The space on the bottom right is intentionally left blank, which creates a negative weight in the image. The subject is placed on the left intersections, as you can see. Use the slider to reduce the overall brightness of the image to create a moody look. Since this is a dish with bread, showing the depth of the dish also makes a good composition. To do this, lower the phone to be parallel or almost parallel. You can take a close-up of a piece using the super macro mode. You can also include elements like a hand or a fork, knife in the image, which will make it much more pleasing. Make sure the elements that you include is smaller than the main dish. So I really hope those tips were helpful for you. Please take some photos and tag us on your photos so that we can share them in our story. Also do subscribe to our channels on Instagram and YouTube, so you'll get a video every week, and we'll see you in the next one.